In the waning days of World War II, as the Third Reich crumbled under the weight of Allied advances, a group of young German women found themselves thrust into the chaos of defeat. These weren't hardened soldiers, but auxiliaries, telephone operators, clerks, and support staff in the Wehrmacht's Women's Corps. Raised on a diet of Nazi propaganda that painted the Americans as barbaric monsters, they trembled at the thought of capture. Surrender, they were told, meant a fate worse than death, humiliation, starvation, or worse. But in May 1945, near the Bavarian town of Bad Aibling, their world turned upside down. Not with violence, but with something as simple as soap and hot water. This is the untold story of how a routine shower became a symbol of shattered illusions, unexpected dignity, and the fragile thread of humanity in the midst of war's end. Stick around, because what these women experienced will challenge everything you think you know about the final moments of the conflict. Picture this. It's late April 1945. The air in southern Germany is thick with the acrid smell of smoke from bombed-out villages and the distant rumble of artillery. Munich has just fallen, and the remnants of the German army are in full retreat. Our story focuses on a small unit of about 24 young women, most in their late teens and early 20s, serving as Helferinnen, female helpers in the Wehrmacht. They've been manning telephone exchanges, patching through frantic calls from crumbling front lines. Names like Erika, a 19-year-old from Berlin with wide eyes and a quick wit. Marta, 22, from a small farm in Saxony, sturdy and practical. And Anna, 20, a bookish type from Hamburg who joined to escape factory work. These women aren't ideologues. They're ordinary girls caught in the machinery of war, driven by a mix of duty, survival, and the relentless propaganda that has shaped their worldview since childhood. For years, the Nazi regime has drilled into them the horrors awaiting those who fall into enemy hands. Posters, radio broadcasts, and school lessons depict Americans as savage capitalists, eager to enslave Germans or worse. Stories from the Eastern Front, whispered in hushed tones, speak of Soviet atrocities, mass rapes, executions, forced marches into Siberian gulags. The armies are no better. Their officers warn. They'll strip you of your dignity, treat you like animals, or ship you off to labor camps in the Wild West. Goebbels' ministry hammers the message, fight to the last breath, because surrender is suicide. These women believe it with every fiber of their being. As the Allies close in, some even consider suicide pacts, clutching hidden cyanide capsules provided by the SS. But reality intervenes. By early May, their unit is ordered south, away from the advancing Americans. They march through the Bavarian countryside, a ragged column blending with refugees, elderly civilians, wounded soldiers, and mothers with children in tow. The roads are clogged with abandoned vehicles, horse-drawn carts piled high with belongings. Allied planes strafe overhead, their machine guns chattering like angry hornets. Erika ducks into a ditch as bullets kick up dirt around her, her heart pounding. This is it, she thinks. Better to die here than in their hands. They scavenge for food, raw turnips from fields, stale bread from sympathetic farmers. Nights are spent huddled in barns, whispering fears. Marta, ever the pragmatist, suggests discarding their uniforms to pose as civilians. No, Anna argues. That makes us spies. They'll shoot us on the spot. The propaganda echoes in their minds. Americans don't take prisoners. They humiliate them first. Finally, on a misty morning in mid-May, their luck runs out. A U.S. 7th Army patrol, tough GIs from Patton's forces, spots them near Bad Aibling. The women freeze, hands raised high. No weapons among them. They're auxiliaries, not combatants. The soldiers, rifles at the ready, bark orders in broken German. Hände hoch! Come with us. Terror grips the group. Erika's knees buckle. She expects a bullet to the head any second. Marta clutches her rosary, murmuring prayers. Anna's mind races with images from newsreels. Leering enemies, chains, degradation. But instead of gunfire, the Americans herd them into trucks. No beatings, no taunts, just efficient commands. The women exchange glances. Is this the calm before the storm? The drive to the POW enclosure is short but surreal. They arrive at a makeshift camp on the outskirts of town. Barbed wire fences, canvas tents, and watchtowers manned by MPs with helmets and sidearms. It's one of dozens of such sites springing up across Germany as the war ends, holding thousands of surrendering Wehrmacht personnel. The women are unloaded and lined up single file. Clipboard-wielding sergeants approach asking for names, ages, units. Erica Miller, 19 Signal Corps. Erica stammers. Possessions are confiscated. Watches, jewelry, even a small locket from Marta's neck. But the soldier handling it pauses, sees the photo inside, her late brother, and hands it back with a nod. "Keep it," he mutters. Confusion sets in. Why the mercy? Isn't this where the horrors begin? That first night in the enclosure is a blur of exhaustion and dread. They're given watery stew and hard bread, more food than they've had in days. Tents provide shelter from the spring rain. Guards patrol the perimeter, but there's no immediate violence. Still, the women huddle together, whispering. "They're fattening us up for something worse," one says. "Remember what they did in Africa? Experiments on prisoners." Propaganda's grip is ironclad. Every act of indifference is twisted into malice. Sleep comes fitfully, haunted by nightmares of what tomorrow holds. Dawn breaks with a shrill whistle. "Rouse, line up!" The women stumble out, bleary-eyed. It's time for processing. Standard U.S. Army procedure under the Geneva Convention, but to them it's ominous. First, medical inspections. Nurses, American women in crisp uniforms, check eyes, skin, temperatures. "Open your mouth," one says gently. A doctor probes for signs of disease. It's clinical, impersonal, like a factory line. Then comes delousing. Soldiers shake white powder over their clothes and hair. "What is this?" Anna whispers in panic. Poison gas? Rumors from the east flood back. Tales of Zyklon B in camps. But the nurse explains. It's for lice. Harmless. The powder itches, clings to their skin, making them feel like infested animals. Humiliation burns, but there's no cruelty in the eyes of the handlers. Just routine. And then, the moment that changes everything, the showers. "Strip down and enter the stalls." An MP orders, pointing to a row of makeshift showers. Wooden partitions with pipes overhead. The women hesitate, clutching their uniforms. Nakedness in front of strangers. Fear explodes. This is it, Erica thinks. Gas chambers, like they say. Marta crosses herself. Anna fights back tears. Propaganda has prepared them for death, not hygiene. They file in, trembling, handed bars of rough Army-issued soap stamped U.S. Army. The scent, plain, utilitarian, wafts up as they grip it like lifelines. The valve turns. Steam billows. And then, water. Hot, cascading water rushes over them, washing away weeks of grime, sweat, and fear. No gas, no poison, just cleansing torrents. Erica stands frozen, soap in hand, as suds form on her skin. The lice, the dirt, the stench of retreat, all swirling down the drain. Tears mix with the water. She sobs, not from pain but relief. It's just a shower," she murmurs. Marta scrubs vigorously, laughing through her tears, a hysterical release. "They gave us soap. Actual soap." Anna, more reserved, lets the warmth seep into her bones, feeling human again for the first time in months. The procedure lasts minutes, but it feels eternal. Emerging clean, wrapped in towels, they dress in their powdered clothes. The world looks different, sharper, less monstrous. This simple act, a standard delousing and hygiene protocol for all POWs, shatters the facade. Back in the tent, the whispers turn from fear to wonder. Why would they do that if they hate us, one asks. Propaganda said they'd let us rot. Erica stares at her bar of soap, a trophy of sorts. It's not luxury. U.S. regulations mandate clean captives to prevent disease outbreaks in camps. But for these women, starved of basics during the retreat, it's a revelation. No beatings, no starvation, just order. The contrast with their expectations breeds doubt. Maybe the Amies aren't the devils we thought, Marta ventures. Anna nods, recalling radio broadcasts of American atrocities. What else have they lied about? As days stretch into weeks, camp life settles into a predictable rhythm, a far cry from the chaotic march south. Sunrise headcounts all present. Porridge for breakfast, bread and stew for lunch and dinner. Rations on par with what the GIs eat per Army rules. Straw bedding in tents, latrines dug nearby, soap and water are distributed periodically. A luxury after months of scarcity. Nurses make rounds dispensing ointments for fevers or cuts. Erica develops a cough. A medic gives her syrup without a word. Danke, she says tentatively. He grunts, you're welcome. Human moments pierce the barrier. Guards rotate shifts. Young men from farms in Iowa or streets of New York, war-weary but disciplined. No overt friendliness, but no sadism either. One tosses a cigarette butt over the wire. Marta picks it up, shares a puff with the group. Laughter erupts when a soldier tries German. Brat? Bitteschön. His accent mangles it, but the bread arrives. Harsher times come too. Barked orders when someone lags or confinement for rule breakers. But it's impersonal. Like traffic cops, not vengeance. The women watch American jeeps roll by. Soldiers joking among themselves. They look normal, Anna observes. Not like the caricatures in the papers. Nights bring introspection. Huddled under blankets, they share stories. Erica talks of her Berlin childhood, air raids turning nights into infernos. Marta recalls her farm. Brothers lost on the Russian front. Anna reads from a smuggled book, voices low. Conversations turn to betrayal. Our leaders promised victory, one says bitterly. But they left us to starve while the Amis feed us. Rumors filter in. Hitler's suicide, Goering's capture. The propaganda crumbles further. If the showers were real, what about the rest? Erica asks. They ponder the Eastern Front horrors. Were they exaggerated to scare them? Western captivity, they realize, is survivable. Rules govern it, unlike the lawless East. Small acts accumulate, building a mosaic of humanity. A nurse, seeing Marta's blistered feet, bandages them gently. You'll be okay, she says in English, miming reassurance. Anna receives a returned letter. Male privileges, another surprise. Even the food, bland as it is, sustains them. No one starves. Epidemics are curbed by those very showers. The women adapt, forming bonds. They sing old folk songs softly. Men clothe, share dreams of home. Retention in the camp isn't punishment. It's limbo, a pause in the madness, but doubt lingers. Transfers loom, rumors of larger camps, perhaps repatriation. Anxiety spikes, what if this is temporary? Yet the stability contrasts sharply with the retreat's terror. No more bombs, no endless marches. The showers become a metaphor in their minds, a dividing line between the lies of war and the truth of survival. That water washed away more than dirt, Anna reflects later. It cleansed our fears. Weeks pass. The war officially ends on May 8th VE Day, though news trickles slowly. The women are moved to a larger facility near Munich. More tents, more prisoners, but the routines persist. Showers continue, soap bars a constant. Interactions deepen. AGI teaches basic English phrases. Another shares chocolate from his rations. Not friendship, but acknowledgement of shared humanity. We're all just people, one woman muses. Release comes gradually. By summer, with Germany divided and demobilization underway, the auxiliaries are processed out. Erica heads back to Berlin. Marta to her farm, Anna to Hamburg's ruins. They carry scars, physical from the march, emotional from the disillusionment. But they also carry memories of that first shower. The steam, the soap's lather, the rush of relief. In post-war years, they share the story in private, over coffee with families, in letters to old comrades. The Amis gave us dignity when we expected none, Erica tells her children. Marta nods in agreement. It taught me that even enemies follow rules. Anna, ever thoughtful, writes in her diary, war strips us bare, but simple acts like hot water can restore us. This tale isn't unique. Thousands of German POWs experienced similar awakenings in American hands. U.S. policy, rooted in the 1929 Geneva Convention, emphasized humane treatment to encourage surrenders and prevent reprisals. No special mercy, just protocol. Yet for these women it exposed the hollowness of Nazi indoctrination. Propaganda built walls of fear. A bar of soap cracked them. In the grand sweep of World War II, battles like Normandy, Stalingrad, Hiroshima, this is a footnote. But it's a powerful one, reminding us that wars end not just with treaties but with human moments. Dignity emerges from the ordinary. A meal shared, a wound bandaged, a shower given. As we reflect on history, ask yourself, in the face of hatred, do we choose cruelty or the small mercies that bind us? These women did, and it changed them forever.